Beach FM, locals talking to locals.
Beach FM 106.3, great to have back on the radio Mayor of the Kapiti Coast, Gurunathan. Guru, good morning and welcome to you.
Good morning, John. Good morning, listeners.
We've had so much happen in the last 2 months. I've got a feeling that there might be a little bit of reflection on the lockdown and what it's meant not only for politics but for people. It certainly has been the period the like of which I've never seen in my lifetime, Guru. Has it been that way for you as well?
Yeah, I think on Thursday I had an interesting interview with Vivian Maffei, who's one of our librarians, and she's part and parcel of a sort of a national project by librarians across the country, recording people's perceptions and feelings around what happened. And I think it's a fascinating set interviews, and will create some interest in terms of what collectively people's feelings were. Excellent. And some of the questions she raised was actually quite interesting. One of the questions was, have you had any sort of changes in your deep thinking, the sort of philosophical changes or spiritual changes in thinking? And we got to talking, and one of the things I realized was that subsequent to the interview, I started collating my own information, and I found out there are a number of people who have decided to give up working.
Really?
I suppose they've got the means to make the choice of, why am I doing what I'm doing? And maybe, a few of them wanted to take early retirement. We hear people losing the job, but we're not thinking of other people's impact that they decided, there's a choice in lifestyle, what I'm getting older, and so why should I be struggling working?
Maybe they enjoyed being at home for a bit and exactly. Putting their feet up, and therefore this was the choice that they may not have had the time to make before. Yeah,
true. And then the choice of working, how much they want to work, and then people who want to work from home. And I think here that's another fascinating story, because what we are hearing is the Wellington CBD businesses down there screaming out and saying that the government government department should be, people should be coming to Wellington to work, because the retail data that's coming up, retail spending in the Kapiti Coast has gone up by 17% during the lockdown, and the Wairapa is up in the more than 10-15%, and contrast with Wellington CBD, which has dropped more than 30%. So this raises an interesting issue, and an issue that I've been trying to engage with the other mayors, in the sense that we need the local economy to thrive, but at the same time we have a situation where the planning and the thinking that has always been in terms of the economics of centralization. For the last 15 years, they call it agglomeration, where you bring a whole lot of businesses and clusters and density population together, and your GDP multiplies more than the sum of its parts. But certainly we have two things. Some time ago we heard of, this Kaikoura earthquake.
Yes.
And we knew that the impact on Wellington, and then we need to not put all our eggs in one basket. Now, how do we start thinking about, for the lack of a better word, decentralizing services in Wellington? And so now we have another layer of this. This is the digital shift in thinking. We had the technology to be able to work from home or work from neighborhoods without going into Wellington. This has never been exercised in the way it has been through the lockdown. And certainly people are feeling that they can work from home, or better still, they can work from neighborhood hubs. So what does that mean for productivity? If your productivity is high and your lifestyle is better, why wouldn't you choose that? Why wouldn't government departments make the choice of having employees who are more productive, more satisfied in their lifestyle? Why wouldn't you?
Why wouldn't you?
The elephant, yes, but the elephant is sitting in the middle of central Wellington, and nobody wants to talk about it in terms of the fact that we may need to decentralize Wellington for a number of reasons. And last time I mentioned this in a mayoral forum, I could see that the mayor of Wellington was uncomfortable. So do we go back to business as usual, or we take advantage of a new thinking? This is a serious question.
Fantastic question. And possibly, as often is the case, it'll be somewhere in the middle. But once again, this COVID-19 thing seems to be able to bring into focus the kinds of opportunities that we have ahead of us. It was very fortunate that the previous government put so much effort into having a good, in fact, a world-class broadband structure, which it covers much of the country now. So that made a lot of this possible. But also the fact that people now have got the choices, that businesses have realised several major commercial concerns, including AMP, beginning to decentralise, getting rid of their expensive central locations and doing more work from home and from neighbourhood hubs, as you say. And I know government departments are actively exploring this because they have found out that this is a very productive way of working.
Yes. I mean, even in ourselves, we have regional meetings, in Upper Hutt or in Lower Hutt, sometimes in Wellington. We've been doing it by Zoom. I don't think I want to go back to the point of having to travel all the way to Wellington. The merchants down there finding a bloody place to park.
Yep.
And waste of time or travel time, which would be more productive. We can do the business through Zoom.
Indeed, and the Zoom works very well. I've had a number of those meetings. Personally, I think they're great. And it certainly does open up the possibilities. So that's an interesting sort of, in the middle future. But in the recent past, I believe you've had a couple of quite pleasant occasions. One of them, a new market in Otaki, and that's a step forward, isn't it?
That's amazing because, every time it's a new business investing some money, I say, look, a word of confidence by businesses who are putting the money or putting the money where so it shows confidence, but the timing couldn't in this case because this is a British investor who's invested in a number of places in New Zealand, and he's putting money, bought a few properties in Otaki, so he's seeing a future for Otaki, and at this precise time when we've got sort of economic challenges and stuff like that. The opening has been delayed, but it was fantastic to have this on Saturday. This is the market. And businesses who invest in markets, I mean, he's got a couple of other buildings which are sort of commercial lease to businesses and stuff like that. But his investment in the market tells me that this is a different type of person because markets, yes, you go into business to get some business profit out of it. But markets also represent community. You're building a community. The markets are a melting pot for locals and visitors. I know that the Parapromo Beach Market, I quote him when he's also a community center without walls.
That's right. Precisely. Yes.
Local growers, craft people, artists, food vendors. So it was cranking on, yesterday morning, on Saturday morning, it was cranking because the weather was really good, even though, you're pushing wind coming into winter. And it was just absolutely fantastic. And also, the Friday the first, Otaki's, Elevate Otaki. This is the organization that NZT is putting $150,000 towards them, and KCDC had matched that. And they've been working on a plan for business revival, particularly given the potential impact of the expressway going through.
Yes. To
make Otaki an identity. So they come up with a slogan called Small Town, Big Heart.
Very good.
Yeah, it's fantastic, isn't it?
It is.
And so when a township is going through changes, and on top of that, because of the expressway, and on top of that, you've got these sort of economic challenges that we are facing. To have something like a community marketplace in front provides a platform for a whole lot of things, including lifting the spirit of the community. And then, given what Elevate Otaki also starting to launch their own campaign, it was fantastic. And I was actually quite thrilled. And James Coops was the ward councillor. Him and I had the honor actually of opening the market with him. He has been a sterling advocate for Otaki, and he's working very hard both in Elevate Otaki and also with this public developer, interfacing between the developer and council officers. So to be able to land this thing after 2 years of planning and working was just absolutely fantastic.
Well, that's just stunning, isn't it? And congratulations to all involved there. And I believe you also had the opportunity of welcoming a whale.
Oh, yes, on Friday morning, early morning. That was a really early morning start. I had to be there 7:45. I think it was cold, but there was no southerly or anything. It was hot. And this is Tohara, which is Maori for whale.
Yeah.
This is the public art installation. It was back in, I think the public art panel had a public consultation on public art back in 2017, and the whale theme had come up. And so the public art panel put out candidates and secured the winning one was by this young Maori artist, Kiriama Taipa.
Yeah.
He was famous for the redwood in Rotorua, the redwood area, the huge redwood trees.
They're enormous.
He designed the toilet there. He designed the toilet there. So, his piece is pre-cast sort of concrete rectangular blocks put in a design of, I think the Maori call it the Aramona pattern, reflecting journeys. So we had the Ngāti Toa's people turn up, and Kiatewas turn up, and Korodon, of course, and his Kaumata people had the songs, and
yes,
he had a very good turnout early in the morning, and was absolutely fantastic. Complete is not my cup of tea, but the design has been really good, and then we've got lightings within it. So I haven't been able to go back and have a look at it in the evening to see the full how it looks like. This 10 meters long.
Right.
I think they put in almost about $60,000 or $70,000 towards the project. So that was good.
That's great. Oh, some good things happening, no doubt about that. Great to catch up with you once again. Perhaps we can do it again sometime.
Very good, sir.
Thank you very much. There we are. That's Guru, Mayor of the Kapiti Coast here on Beach FM.
106.3 Beach FM.